Welcome to the Candid Conversation Show. I'm your host, Marilyn Fontaine, artist and creative coach for women who want success and income with ease. Welcome to the Candid Conversations. This is Marilyn Fontaine, and this is episode 19. And today's episode is about defining your authenticity, or being authentic, I would say. There's always a dilemma with creatives about authenticity and, creating work that represents who you are, as opposed to creating work that is serving a demand. And I find, especially with the Instagram age, that people tend to not sure whether what they're offering is sellable, or not sure what they're offering is good enough. And I think that many creatives are making social media especially social media likes. They're making social media likes define their design direction, as opposed to combining what your intuition tells you. Because here's the thing, as creatives, as sensitives, we absorb what's going on in the environment, and we absorb this even from what's to come and what's happened. So we're literally absorbing information of things that are about to happen. It's like a precognizance. I hope I've said that properly. A precognizance of what's to come, and picking up the learning from the past. And we are kind of like a filtration system. So we filter and adjust, and we put back out into the world through our creations, records and documents of what's happened socially. And this could be for a piece of jewellery, it could be a sculpture, it could be creating oils, it could be creating a picture, it could be writing a book. Artists do not get their sources just from, being closed and being in their self, unless they are away on retreat. But if we're in the world, we are constantly collecting data. And this is really imperative why artists have a system of planning, and we have a system of journaling, or a spiritual grounding system, whether that's prayer, meditation, singing, something that we have to do to kind of help us move that energy through our body and put it into matter. So turn it into a product or a practice. Thank God I got that one right. And so we're collecting data, we're creating records, and so we go to create something from this superpower that we have. And it's not to say we're special or better than anybody, because everybody has a superpower. But in terms of our creativity, we have a superpower of telling stories. But what happens is we get our ideas, we get our information, and we go on social media. And we look at what's got likes and how many people's got followers, and we think our product isn't going to work. But we are looking at our product through the lens of whether people like something or not. And most people will tell you that have got products that the people that are liking their stuff may not necessarily buy. And I've been in around people who's had events and had products, and they've got so many followers, and they've got so many, they book, influencers to headline their events. And nothing sold. These people are bringing in an illusion. Yes, they may create a buzz, but it's not necessarily true. That is a fault. That's just because you've got likes or someone's got loads of followers, that cannot be converted into sales, cannot be converted into customers. A lot of customers that buy, they don't necessarily like. When I'm on Instagram and I'm going through my feed and I see a company selling something, I don't always like that product because I'm clicking action on the website to see what they have. And my choices, what are my choices in buying? My choices are relating to loyalty. I love Zara. I love Vinted. I'm not on their Instagram liking their stuff. My sister recommended me to Vinted. Zara, God knows, I think a friend had a top from Zara or must have walked past. And I went into the shop. I'm very rarely on Zara's social media, but I will type in their website. So you're better off, worrying about Google Analytics because we still use Google more than anything. So social media is a brilliant portfolio. It's a brilliant way to captivate an audience. It's a brilliant way to create connections. But it's not, you shouldn't dictate your business from what is happening in social media. Yes, you have to maybe do reels and different things that you may want to do, but it's not going to be the end result for the choices that people make buying. It just creates more reach and brings more people into your orbit. But getting them to purchase something is a different thing. I always believe in harmonic resonance. And we are energy beings as well as physical human beings. And it's most people, whether they believe in spirituality or not. So I have certain clients that they're just not into that spiritual stuff, but they're into vibes and energy. And they will purchase stuff if it feels right. It's got to feel right to them. But it's not things that scream out to them. It takes them a while. Or if they like something visually, then they'll get it. They'll find out whether it suits their budget. They'll create the budget for it, or they won't, and they'll just buy it. And so they really understand what they like. They're very, people that spend money, people that love nice things, they're very clear about what they like. And it's not because the company they're buying from has got thousands of people following them. It's because they resonate with their work. And you'll find that if somebody likes what you have to offer, they may look at it, they may like it, they may not like all the rest of your stuff, but they'll save you. Always look at the things that, your posts that have got saves on them, because that is a good indicator of people coming back to your page and checking you out, and when they're ready, they'll purchase something from you, or they'll commission your artwork, or buy your service. And so it's really important that we understand that we may think because something has got likes that we need to create more of the same, overriding our intuition and our creative energy, that we should be creating what we want to create. And I see this a lot with artists and creatives, because their mind, especially in these times, their mind is really listening to the voices of other people. I can hear it when they speak. They're saying things like, the industry's out, and things are not working, and people are not spending money, but people are spending money on things that they need, and that maybe the people that are not spending money may not be your customers. And I'm not talking about the customers that can afford your work. They just may not resonate with the work you do anyway. But I really feel that the same intuition that is our instinct, that governs our choices, if we learn about, choose the word narcissist. It's a buzzword. Everybody's a narcissist, or we know people that are narcissists, genuine narcissists. Because you've been around so many, the minute someone exhibits those behaviors, your instinct kicks in, and your instinct will say, actually, I'm stepping back a bit because there's certain things I don't get on with. So we rely on our instinct to certain what kind of people that we want around us. So why do we override that when it's something as positive and as healing as the stuff that we create? And why is it we don't, we don't allow ourselves to listen to our inner voice? And for me, I feel that it's really important. The more you listen to the inner voice, especially where it's regard to your creativity, the more you'll get yourself well. A lot of the times that we suppress our natural instincts and our urges, and we suppress and we become depressed. And if you feel these feelings, always ask yourself, what am I suppressing? What would happen if I just put this out? And take away the money expectation. Because there's a lot of creatives that have a product that they really want to put out, and they're worrying about website, packaging. They're not even testing the waters. And so, because their thoughts create the same things again and again and again, they bury that. They bury the idea, and they don't allow it to materialize because they've talked themselves out of it. Oh, it's not the right time, or people are not buying. Whenever I used to sell prints commercially, I just didn't care. People asked for it. I loved my work, but I painted first and then I created prints. Again, the change happened when I started to create artwork because of a demand, and that was with the calendars, which I love, but I always talk about them because everybody was saying, you should do more of this, you should do that. And when I decided to stop them, a lot of people were disappointed. But for me, at that time, it felt like the right thing to do, because I really needed to take that risk and let go of producing to the demand of people's needs rather than telling a story. And the weird thing is that you can still tell a story and work to people's demands. But the fear wasn't me, and the problem wasn't the fact that I was working to people's demands. It was my belief at the time that I couldn't sell products with my story, with me just creating artwork. Like, I couldn't sell calendars with me just creating artwork from my story and not listening to those people that said, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I didn't have the confidence to say, actually, I just want to create, like the first calendar, I just want to create this calendar off of my artwork. But I changed it. I changed the whole, I changed the whole way of doing it every year to suit the people that loved. It changed. It became from producing calendars from paintings I had done from the previous years to these beautiful. It was very much mine were a bit of Frank Morris, some of them, the artists, but really light and airy. It wasn't heavy like my normal work, and they were very light, bright, and beautiful. And people had access to my work. I feel that was just an aspect of my personality, but it wasn't my story. And I think that's different. It wasn't my story, the storytelling part of me that I was telling. So I feel like I put that away because I was working to a demand, and it just didn't feel right after 2-3 years in my body. And so I stopped it. And it opened up for so much more things. Not to say I won't do calendars again, and I could choose to do whatever I want, but I think my thoughts around what I couldn't do, how I couldn't show up commercially, needed to be changed. And so I think the key factor for those of you creatives that are changing your business or creating a new business or wanting to scale up and just to take your business to the next level, is that you still want to tell your story. If you want to create commercial product, that's fine. There's a lot of billionaires and millionaires that are like just supply and demand. That's if you want to do that, that's fine. If you want to look where trends are and you're creating, and that turns you on, brilliant. It's brilliant. But I'm speaking to those of you who are creating such beautiful content, but are starting to feel disillusioned because you are afraid to change your product or to go back to how your product used to be, because you're frightened that you're going to lose sales. Your intuition never lies. There may be a decline, and then it'll pick back up again, because intuition is the connection to spirit, to ancestors, to the creator, to the universe. It is the natural rhythm of who we are. Things, they expand and then they contract, but energy is energy. You have a product that's coming from your soul. It's created for not only yourself, but those that need it. The only thing that stops that connection is our thoughts about it, about whether someone's going to buy it or not. But there's something for everybody, and I just want you to know that you can do this. You can create what you need to create. The way through, though, is to make sure that you are marketing to the right people. And it doesn't have to be on social media. It could be anywhere you choose to market your product. But within that marketing is the right thoughts. Because if you're not thinking about the success of that product, the end result, then it's going to colour your marketing. It's also about how you run your business, how you spend time creating those things. Is it part of a package of something else? Do you create a product and then run workshops? Do you coach people? Are you a healer, or do you just solely just work on your products? Like, what is your process? Can these products be created when you are there or not there? So we're really looking at not just how you create, but how you produce everything that you need to produce. Because a lot of the times we are exhausted because we are thinking the wrong thoughts. And it's our thoughts that create our actions, that create our results. And so it's a whole thought process behind not just your intuition about this product, but actually, how am I functioning? What are my beliefs about my creativity and my creative business? Do I have to be challenged and doing 100 different things because my thoughts are telling me I need to do it? Or what is the best way I can do this? And what might come to you could be meet a demand for a small time, and then let's run our sole project in the background while we create revenue. It could be that. But at least you know that. At least you can say, well, 6 months, I can meet this demand for 6 months to a year. I've got enough money behind me to pay for a studio or to pay for a bigger place to live or wherever. And then I'm going to create my own projects. Or I'm going to get funding to support myself. See my last podcast. Get funding to support myself. And I'm just going to work on my projects. And I'm going to scale down the demand, the customer demand products, just so it's, running in the background and, give me some extra change while I work with this funding money. There's so many ways that you can do something, but the way through is to know what you want. And that's really important. And that's why I really highly recommend that you consider working with me on a highly capable creative program. It's a one-to-one program. And, I was looking at all the achievements that my clients made, and not just their achievements, but just the tools that I use with my clients. And I was thinking to myself, it really works, because I'm not only looking at your human design, I'm not a human design guide, but we look at your human design to see how you react and you relate to the world and how you strategize the world. I've come from an art background, but I also run a business. And I've also made incredible amount of money from my business and being me for the first time, like totally in my life. And I'm just so aware of how artists think. I walk between both worlds. I come from a spiritual perspective as well. So I understand what happens to our brain spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And, being in the creative industry and being in the spiritual industry as well, I understand what goes on. And that's why I really love the coaching program that I run, because it's a 360-degree program, and there's lots of them out there. But for me, I'm still a working artist. I'm not a coach that doesn't paint and produce artwork. I actually still produce. I actually have exhibitions. So for me, I'm working alongside. I've actually had a commercial art business. And so I just feel that the incubator is the perfect place for artists to come and to know how to do it with ease and fun and still maintain their creative integrity. And I talked about the hero's journey last week, and that is what you work through with me when you join a highly capable creative program, is to navigate all the emotional, spiritual, and intergenerational challenges that we face in this life. And so it's something to consider. If you're curious, book a consultation with me, or sales call as we call it, to see if this program fits you. But even in the consultation itself, people get to see where their mind's at and what they need to work on. As of late, I've not had anybody say, this is not for me. I've had people say, I want to book, I'll come back to you. or a yes, because I think they realise that it's a space where they can be heard and understood, and their brain is not freaky or unusual. It's just a creative brain that has had conditioning, trauma, effects of white supremacy, whether you're black or white, and being in a world where creativity and art and healing they're not put in the forefront, and we're in a time where it's needed more than ever. So as an artist, our work is more important than ever before, than ever, because people are going to need it. As a healer, your work is important because this is a time we're coming out of a pandemic. And so there is going to be a lot of post-pandemic trauma. So what we have to offer as coaches, artists, creatives, healers, in any discipline, is a story to tell, a safe place to come to, and opportunities to have. And with that, I hope that you got some benefit from this episode, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now. If you want to be part of an incubator of some amazing creative women, then you need to join the Highly Capable Creative one-to-one program with me. To join, you can just contact me at www.mjfontaine.co.uk and book a sales call with me to join this amazing 6-month program where we get to work on your creative business. We also get to work clearing your blocks and also bringing that confidence up to 100 so you can stand in your agency and live your best life.